Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It is I, Charlie, and I know it's a bit early, but maybe it's not going to be by the time that I actually post this. But I am going to post it at some time in the near future, so it's still going to be early because I can almost guarantee you that this is going to occur before 8 o'clock tonight, which, of course, is Thursday, April 24th, 2014. Now, some of you might be wondering, why am I doing a video? Aren't you supposed to be doing a Thursday night hangout? I wish we were, but we're not. Because two things. Zilius' dad's in town in Minnesota, so he's out. Trying to make sure I don't do the obscene gesture. And second of all, I couldn't find a co-host, and I have been invited to an event this evening, so I will be at said event. So that means that nobody's gonna be here for the hangout. So I needed to make video for you. So here's video for you. Let's see here, real quick. Yes, I play Smite. But you already knew that. Um, Let me look at my cheat notes here. Yeah, I need to write some reviews. I need to make sure that some of the videos I posted on YouTube are actually appearing on Alter Confusion. And I think that's about it. I mean, I wish I had something more to say. Let's see if I have something more to say here. I already talked about BlizzCon. Sadly, I really don't have anything to say. I mean, I could start a topic, but then it'd be really one-sided because Zelius isn't here to either make fun of me or agree with me completely, because that's how he works. So, I guess the topic that I will throw out to the community, and Zelius and I will have to tackle this perhaps next week, is, okay, here's the deal. There seems to be a push towards interesting peripherals to be added to your system, be it your PC, your consoles, whatever. There's like a treadmill. There's an omnidirectional treadmill that's out or is in like beta. There's of course the Oculus Rift. There's also other VR devices. There are games such as the one that I mentioned. I'm going to check real quick so I can get the name right. I want to say Salvaged. It is called. Come on. Yep, Salvaged, which requires both the use of a tablet and a PC. Are we going to see? Here's my question: Are we with this like influx of peripherals? Are we going to see this massive divide? Basically, the creation of kind of like the Uber, not Uber, how to say this? Are as a result of this, okay, first of all, do you think the technology is going to actually catch on to allow for, let's say, an enhanced gaming experience? Now, let's say that you're going to be utilizing, the thing is with like Oculus Rift, you could kind of like simulate different screens by moving your head around. You could pretend that you're in like a command central for the army. So on your left side, you have like a bunch of buttons or monitors or whatever. On your right side, you got this. So you're really rendering like 3 screens worth of information. Now, like I said, I've never played with the Oculus Rift, so I don't know how sophisticated you could get it. And when you have the Oculus on, it's full immersion, so it's not like you could hold up a tablet. Actually, what I'd really like to see is, and I know I haven't said this in a while, so I would really like to see dot hack, like the real, like the world in dot hack, where you put on a VR device, much like an Oculus, and you hold a gaming controller, which I think is kind of like the Oculus, I think, I don't know, and it's got speech, audio, all that stuff. So you're playing an MMO where you're playing as a character, and you basically have this world where you can basically do anything. You can adventure, you can find secrets, you can just socialize. It could be like, a virtual forum, which I think is where the Oculus is probably going to go with Facebook. Um, but I guess the thing is, if this technology takes off, because we're at a very interesting intersection for gaming. Uh, the the big name consoles don't really have the libraries that they used to because they're trying to make their devices media centric so that they appeal to a bigger audience so that they can actually justify selling such an expensive piece of equipment. And of course, they want to make money. Um, so with this kind of like, I guess this iteration of the push of new technology, do you think it's actually going to take off? And if so, are we going to see like a new split? You know, because now it's like console, PC, mobile gamers. I'm not going to go into hardcore, casual, whatever, but let's just say that you have PC, console, mobile. Okay, let's just put those three platforms out there. Are we going to see an emergence of a new like subset? So like you've got, I mean, I'm assuming that you're probably going to be utilizing the PC for most of this stuff, but are we going to even recognize it as a PC gamer when you're using all those additional peripherals to give you a completely different experience than what you would experience on the PC? And if so, are we going to have a new classification? Furthermore, what kind of games do you think we're going to see? I would be very hesitant for anything that's really fast-paced. So I would say sports are probably out. That would be really, actually, I'm pretty sure the majority of people would get motion sickness. Um, but I think it would be interesting to see if the future holds, or excuse me, what the future holds. As I've stated very, very, very many times, in the destruction of the game industry as we know it, I actually, you know, that what I've been telling everybody is basically AAA titles. The majority of AAA titles on consoles, you're not going to see a lot of new IPs because not a lot of companies want to risk it. There might be a phenomenal, fantastic idea, but if it bombs, that could mean the death of a developer. Developer. So what you're seeing is a lot of reboots, sequels, and then of course the push for online-only play because it's much, much cheaper than a single-player game. So the question is, who, if this new peripheral-driven world actually starts taking hold, and there is this subset of individuals that continuously grows. So not hobbyists, because I know that that would be the first like step into maybe this subset. But the question is, who would develop for those games? Are we talking? Would we see a transition of the AAA publishers and their developers underneath their umbrella move to that? Would it be financially wise for them to do that? I don't know. Right now, I think it would not be wise because of the sheer entry price to be able to do this. I mean, the Oculus alone, I think, is like $350. So we're okay now. Now we're getting into the console range price, but you can't just have an Oculus by itself. You have to have a PC, but in turn, you probably need a PC that's powerful enough to really give you that full immersion experience. So you're probably talking about a $2,000 rig. So you're already looking at, let's say, $2,400, and we haven't even touched games yet. So there's got to be something. One, there's got to be that game that drives everybody nuts that they have to have it. Reason I got my PlayStation was Final Fantasy VII. A lot of people picked up different iterations of the Xbox because of Halo. Although there's not a Halo on Xbox One yet, though I don't think it's going to be very, very long before we're going to see that. Then, of course, there's Destiny, but Destiny is a cross-platform game, so it's not like you have to have the PlayStation 4 to play Destiny if you've got an Xbox One. It's interesting. I'm always interested in innovation in games, something that hasn't been done before, a different way to interpret the experience, and the Oculus and other devices can give you that. But is there a big enough market to really make that subset stand out by itself? Or are we just going to say PC gamers who've got a little extra money so they get to have a little, extra woohoo in the games? What I'm talking about is Jesse loves to use this terminology, gimmick. Is the Oculus piece of a game, are we going to see two versions of a game, or are we going to see a game that has the ability to have an Oculus enhanced experience? If you have two different versions of the game, then you can have something that is truly for the Oculus, or you can have what Xbox 360 did a lot of, and that is Kinect connectivity, which is you can do something with the Kinect, but it's really not going to make that big of a difference, and that could spell disaster for the Oculus if it's seen as just a gimmick. Yeah, let's give it 2-3 little extra pushes and then call it a day. But you never know. That's what it could be. I probably won't have an Oculus anytime soon unless excuse me. I keep saying the Oculus. The Rift. The Rift is the device. Oculus is the company. Yeah. The Rift device. But if anyone ever wants to, if Oculus or Facebook wants to hook me up with the Rift, I would be more than willing to test it and be a guinea pig. Just saying. But I don't know. I think it'd be amazing to have a gaming experience where it's not just the norm, where this game salvage, utilizes your tablet and your PC. But at the end of the day, it's just, unless it becomes the new standard of, to really get into this game, you're going to want to do this. Because this, of course, immediately, upon hearing about salvage, I immediately thought of Zelda Legend of the Four Swords for the GameCube, which you had to have a Game Boy, at least a Game Boy Advance. You had to buy the cord, and then of course everyone could play the game, which was awesome because then you can have all your extra stats and stuff, and it didn't clutter up the screen, which is kind of cool. But at the same time, I don't know if enough people, it was basically for Zelda fans, so I don't, so. Anyways, 1 second. Anyways, real quick, this unfortunately is going to be the Thursday night hangout. Well, it's going to be the video that's going to be there for you to watch Thursday night. I wish though we could be there this evening to chit chat, and of course my usual 9 o'clock Smite time is not going to happen because I won't be here until probably about 11. Maybe I'll play some Smite. I might stream it. Who knows? I don't know. But anyways, thank you for tuning in to this video. It's a little bit longer than the Something Slightly Different and a little shorter than the Hangout. So you're getting a hodgepodge of stuff. So until tomorrow, Friday, thank you for tuning in, and I will see you soon. Screw it. All right, let's just chit-chat a little bit longer here so that you can really understand what goes on in my brain, though I think you already know by this point because of the wonderful conversation we've just been having, or my conversation to you, about the potential of future gaming. Once again, as I stated so many times, if you want something unique, if you want something amazing, you need to look at the independent developers because they're the ones who do not have those reins set upon them. Yes, they may not be the prettiest games in the world because they don't have the art budget of these AAA titles, but they could be the most unique experience you've ever had in your life. They could also give you an experience that you won't find anywhere else. The problem is always going to be finding those games. And of course, for Alter Confusion, our main focus is to try to give you as much information about independently developed games or games that have gone through different channels that you may not know about. So that's my job, is to play those games, give them a review, and then give it to you, so you can find out about some of the amazing stuff that is happening. Now, of course, I wish that, independent developers had the budget to maybe enhance the experience where you have that the multi-screen and stuff without having to continue to do. Part of me says that crowdfunding, phenomenal, but the other part goes, crowdfunding for a digital product is the worst idea in the world. And I say that only because of this. If you really sit down and you really break down the numbers of exactly how much money it's going to take to make this game. Let's say, since salvage is at $125,000. So let's say you put $125,000 down. You want them, that's your goal. Fantastic, perfect. The problem is when you crowdfund for that game, and let's say you start making like a ton more money than $125,000. Let's say that you are now at like $500,000. The financial structure of what you're capable of goes out the window, because automatically we are a capitalistic society. We want to pull in as much money as we can for our project so that we can make, we do, it's not like we're like, oh yeah, we're going to keep all the extra money. No. In order to gain that extra money, you got to start promising extra things. But the problem is when you start promising those extra things, first of all, your vision gets clouded because now you're adding a bunch of stuff that you first didn't anticipate on. And second of all, the financial piece has probably gone out the window because you want to continue to get the money, and you think, oh yeah, we could probably put this in, and we'll put this in, and we'll put this in. If you stretch goals, an extra $70,000, we could do this, and they don't really think it out. And then at the end, you're left with the dreaded early access approach, which, ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you this right now. Some of the games are amazing, and it is a cool concept for early access. But the vast majority of games that are giving you early access, which basically means from alpha or beta on, because the game's not released, but you have to pay the full price. What that means is the companies run out of money, and they desperately need that money so they can continue to make the game. Okay, so they still want to make the game. But the problem is you are paying full price for a product that may never come out. And you're not going to get a refund on it because you bought in. Same like Kickstarter. As soon as you put that money in, as soon as it passes the amount of time that the campaign does, and they have reached their goal, that money's gone. Unless they decide to give you the money back. But they don't have to. If they can produce somewhat of a product for you, an alpha or a beta, and then go, oh God, we ran out of money, I'm so sorry, here's the game as best we can do it. Ta-da! That's just a risk you are going to take. Yes, there are cases of people suing because they didn't get a final product or they didn't get any product at all, but the vast majority of people are basically going to be SOL if they receive something for their money. So, crowdfunding can be good, but I think crowdfunding for a physical product like a board game, a card game, t-shirts, a book, a painting, something, much better than a digital asset. So, like what I think I said, I can't even remember now. See, this is how fast my brain goes. it would be amazing if if the independent developers were able to basically create a phenomenal experience that and basically found lay down the foundation for, like an Oculus type of gaming environment, and then it just grows from there. But unfortunately, you need the pretty colors. You need the top talent. I'm not saying that independent developers may not have the top talent, because some of those people who start off in their garage with a bunch of their buddies, they end up being, the BioWare or the Irrational Games. But they, when they started, they didn't have the money, they didn't have the knowledge, or enough of it to create something that would probably help really kick that subset in the face to really, turn everyone's head around. I mean, there's a lot of people out there who are like, well, you got all these Android consoles, right? But I think there's like 9 or 10 of them out there. I can name 3. I own one of them. I own the Ouya. I turned it on for the first time in God knows how long today. That tells you that it is not a device that everyone's going to run out and get. Though, of course, they're changing gears and they're going to release a software platform, which I'm still kind of iffy on exactly how they're going to accomplish putting their software platform onto other games, so that you have to utilize their payment gateways to play their games. So they're basically building a simulator on top of other people's or other companies' architecture. So I don't know how well that's going to go over. But, if it works, kudos to them. All right, seriously, now I think I am done for now. Yeah. So thank you for tuning in. For real, I might be not seeing you until tomorrow. But if I decide on the spur of the moment to add something else, I apologize. But that's just how I'm wired. So for myself, Charlie, thank you for tuning in, and I will see you in the future.